Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome back to another Scalable Law Podcast. I am your host, Carolee, and this week we are continuing on with our series on how law firms can best implement AI into their law practices. Of course, AI is a huge topic at the moment, and as a law firm owner, you're potentially feeling overwhelmed and stressed about how to implement AI into your law firm. As we discussed last week, a smart place to start is to work out where AI best places in your law firm. We need to work out where we're losing time and efficiencies in your firm so that you can work out what systems and AI you should implement. Every single week inside law firms, hours are disappearing into things like drafting, repetitive emails, chasing clients for documents, writing file summaries, updating matters, onboarding clients, marketing, internal communications, and note-taking. None of this is complex legal work, and all of it follows a pattern. All of it can be partially or fully assisted by AI. The biggest areas that I see law firms can really win at in AI and where it's creating the biggest impact are these 5 different areas. So number 1 is marketing and lead generation. And we talked a lot about marketing and lead generation last week on the podcast. So if you missed that, you can go back and listen to that one. That's about staying visible consistently without consuming all of your time. And AI can help you create content faster, repurpose it across platforms, and automate your follow-ups so your pipeline keeps moving even when you are heads down in client work. The next, number 2, is client intake and communication. This is where client experience either wins or loses the client. AI can streamline your intake processes, automate client updates, and ensure that every prospect gets a fast professional response without your team having to manually manage every single touch point. The third area is drafting, so legal drafting and research. This is the one that saves your lawyers the most hours a week. AI assists with first drafts, document summaries, precedent research, and meeting notes so that your team spends more time on the work that actually requires their expertise. The fourth one is team productivity and operations. This is about building a firm that does not rely on you for every answer. AI helps you to document the processes, support your team, standardize delivery, and create an operational infrastructure that lets people perform without constant direction. Doesn't that sound good, law firm owners? And the fifth one is data and decision making. So this is one that most firms are not doing yet. What AI does is it gives you real visibility into what is actually happening in your law firm. This is conversion rates, utilization, revenue trends, workflow, bottlenecks, all of this so that you can make faster and better decisions based on evidence rather than gut feel. So these are 5 areas that AI can really help your law firm in real-time savings across all of these areas. So what we're going to do today is go through client intake and communication. If you want to know more about legal research and drafting, team productivity and operations, and data and decision making, those podcasts are going to be coming in the coming weeks. So if you are not listening in real time, you can skip ahead to those, or you can skip back one to go and listen to the one about marketing and lead generation, which was a really great podcast. But today we're going to talk about client intake and communication, which of course is so important. This is an area where I see law firms losing lots of clients. Not because of the bad legal work, but because of what happens before the legal work even starts. I know for me, in my law firm, we definitely had a problem between leads and client intake because that journey for clients wasn't made very smooth and could be sometimes quite clunky. Client intake and communication is where the first impressions are made, and you only get to make the first impression once, right? This is where trust is broken or built. So obviously we want to build the trust, and it's where most firms are still operating completely manually. So that's what we really want to change today, and that's where AI can really step in and help. Your clients want 4 things when they are being onboarded. They want speed, they want clarity, they want updates, and they want responsiveness. These 4 things have nothing to do with how good your lawyers are and how good they are at the legal work. They are entirely about how your firm operates around the legal work. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Your clients are not comparing you to other law firms. They probably don't have an experience with another law firm. They're comparing you to every other service they use. Their bank, their GP, their accountant, Amazon. When those services respond instantly, confirm automatically, and communicate proactively, and your firm sends an email 2 days later saying, just following up, the gap is obvious and it's huge. What we want is to use AI to close that gap completely. So let me show you exactly how. So let's say someone fills out your contact form, sends an email or calls you after hours and leaves a message. Within minutes, not hours or the next day, minutes, they receive an automated response. Not a generic thanks for your inquiry, but a warm, intelligent message written by Claude or your chosen AI in your law firm's voice that acknowledges their situation, tells them exactly what happens next, and gives them a direct link to book a consultation time. That link connects to your online booking system. This could be tools like Once Hub, Acuity, or Calendarly, where they can see your real team's availability and they can book instantly. There's no phone tag, no waiting for someone to check the diary. What happens is that they book themselves at 10 p.m. if that's when they have 5 minutes. Immediately after booking, they receive a confirmation with everything that they need. The date, the time, the format, whether it's phone, video, or in person, and a clear explanation as to what happens next. Now, here is where most firms lose an enormous amount of time, and also where they get a lot of time waster clients, and this will help eliminate them. The first consultation is often spent gathering information like names, dates, background details, documents, and anything else that is required for the initial consultation. These are low-end tasks that your lawyers don't need to be doing, and they shouldn't be used as administrators, especially when AI can take care of all of this for you. The automation solves this completely. The moment someone books, they automatically receive a pre-consultation questionnaire. Built-in tools like Jotform or Typeform, all your practice management software, I know that Clio does it, will actually help you with this. Designed by you, written by Claude, and tailored specifically to your practice area. By the time the client walks into the consultation, your lawyer already knows all of the key facts. The meeting starts at a completely different level, and the client feels it from the very beginning. Your firm is organized and prepared, and they're taking their matter seriously before they've even spoken to anyone. Now, the way that it eliminates time wasters is that if people don't fill the form in and they don't respect your time, then they don't get the appointment, particularly if it's a free initial consultation or a 15-minute triage style call. So it's really important that they do fill the form in. It can help you in the intake, it helps them, and it makes the entire process a lot more professional. So it's important that they fill it in. My philosophy is that they need to have some skin in the game. They can't just be making random appointments and not showing. So you will find that the more that people fill the forms in, the more that they actually show up to the initial appointment, and the easier they are to retain. The next step of this automated workflow from your initial inquiry to booking the appointment to having the questionnaire sent out and filled in is a really important piece, and it makes the whole system work without anyone manually entering any data. So once the questionnaire is completed, that information flows automatically back to your practice management software. Now you can do this via Zapier, which is a tool that you'll need to join the two pieces of tech. So for example, say you're using Typeform, you can zap that directly into your client management software. Whether you are using Smokeball, Leap or Clio, the new matter is created, the client details are populated, and the key facts from the questionnaire are attached to the file. So no manual data entry, no information lost between an email and a file, and no receptionist spending 45 minutes creating a new matter from scratch. Something else that's really interesting is that Claude can also be triggered at this point to generate a pre-consultation summary for the lawyer. This is a brief, structured overview of the client's situation based on the questionnaire answers. The lawyer reads it in 2 minutes before the meeting and walks in prepared. That is a different experience for the client, and it is a different experience for your legal team. So just to recap on the tools and software that you will need to implement this, you might already have some of them in your tool belt. The first one will be your practice management software. You need a Calendarly or booking app. You need a questionnaire app such as Typeform or Jotform. And you might need Zapier so that you can zap it all together to make it all talk to each other, which is where a lot of the automation comes in. And of course, you can use either Claude or ChatGPT to help you to design all of this out and automate it further. This is actually very simple to put together, and it was something that was life-changing in my law firm, systemizing this whole intake process. And now with AI tools, you're able to take all of this to the next level again. Well, that's all I have for you today on automating your client intake and using AI to help you to do that. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you might enjoy the marketing one that I did last week, and stay tuned for the following podcasts in this series. Also, if you would love some of this done and you want it to be super easy, this is the kind of thing that we do in the Accelerator program. We have all of this systemized so that it's very easy for you to implement. We have got all the scripts, we've got all the tools, we've got all the tech, everything that you need, and we give you step-by-step instructions to help you to do it. This type of thing could save you so much money, and it could actually make you a lot of money. So if this is the kind of thing that you are wanting to implement in your firm, but you just don't know where to start and you want someone to help you, that is what we do. So pop on over to the website or down to the show notes to book a growth call with one of our team, and we'll happily talk to you about how we can help. That's all we have this week. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.